Welcome, Gemini, to your 2021 yearly reading. I'm going to pull 4 cards, one for each quarter of the year. In-depth monthly readings, of course, can be found on my playlist, or of course if you subscribe, they're delivered straight to you, or just search for me in the month. Now let's see what there is in store. If you want to find out more about what I do, just check out the description box and that will tell you. Now let's see what there is in store for you, shall we? I know that this is going to be a good year. There's the Prince of Wands. It's always a good start, that one. Great card for the beginning of the year, I must say. But we'll see what there is in store. There's the Knight of Wands. So the son and the father of the suit. There's the Knight of Discs. All people in your... That's jumping out, whatever that happens to be. And there is the 9 of Discs. Fantastic set of cards for you. Let's now have a good close look at these cards. I'll point out the esoteric imagery, which will affect how I read it for you, and we'll see what's in store for you for this year coming up. Okay, here we go. Now, wow, this looks like a fantastic year for you. A lot of fulfilling opportunities and fulfilling and productive and rewarding work. These playing cards, incidentally, are just here for energy. I just like the vibe that they give off. But let's have a look first at this Prince of Wands. Well, here, I think that... Look, this Prince of Wands is a very dynamic card and energy with a strong Leo influence. The Prince sits in a chariot pulled by a lion. And what's interesting about this card here is that unlike the other court cards that we see here, he has pupils in his eyes. Now, there is, astrologically, I think, a lot of Leo around here as well, not surprising with this. And I'd say Cancer, so I'd say the last decan of Cancer and the first 0 to 20 degrees of Leo. Now, let's have a look at some of the symbology, shall we? I've already mentioned that there is pupils in here, which is very unusual. And good, because it shows that you'll have clear-sightedness during this period here. Now, this crown here has a winged lion's head attached to it, if you look at it, and there are 11 rays around it. And 11, of course, is a master number and the number of magic. The armor, well, if I'm looking at this armor here, I notice that his arms are free of the armor to allow for his active and creative nature. So that will be you, and being overly insular is not in his character, I don't think, and of course this won't be yours as well. Now, this seal on his breastplate, that's the 7-pointed star of Babylon. This thing here in his right hand, that phoenix wand, represents his power and creativity, and it's used in rituals of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And the developer of this deck, and I think the artist as well, Lady Frida Harris, they were both members of that Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. I'm not sure if it's still going around. Now, the reins are draped over his left hand. If you look here, he's not holding on to them. And this really allows free rein of his creativity. The lion is pulling the chariot. Well, again, this is symbolic of this Leo influence that I see in the card. The qualities of Leo will be a strong driving force in your life during this first quarter. The qualities associated with Leo are being at the heart of things, confident and outgoing, being the center of attention. Leo also rules the heart, incidentally. And they revel in drama and can create one when life becomes too dull. So I think what we can say that for you in relation to the first quarter is that with the heart of a lion, you will stand for honesty and integrity and what you believe to be for the common good and for your own good. There is a strong sense of morality that I'm getting to your character during this period. Now, this guy here can represent a turning point in your life. And I suspect there's been some difficulty going on in your life because he's turned up here to say that this is a turning point when things have been going badly. And you have to use his energy, enthusiasm, and drive to move forward on to new and better things. And now is the right time to do it. At the same time, you must wear the same confidence that he does and move forward in life and re-establish your true integrity. This is reminding you to re-engage in life and be ready to tackle any challenges that come your way, as you will eventually overcome what is holding you back from achieving your goal. I think that you'll also be something of a generous person and loyal, and maintain your sense of humor. Do you have a lustful life? I think this card is engaging you to ask that question. Now, here's his father, the king, the knight of wands. A lot of energy, a lot of willpower for you. Now, what we have with this Knight of Wands is a man riding in full armor on a black horse, holding what is actually the Ace of Wands in his left hand. There is a black crest on his helmet and also down here on the saddle. Now, in relation to this crest, I look at he's on a black horse, and this black crest and the black horse are attributed to Mars, which is the ruler, the classical ruler of Scorpio. So I see Scorpio in this card, and a Scorpio is going to be important to you during this period, and so is a Sagittarius, I'd say. Now, flames come from his torch and also from his cloak, as you can see. He also rides the flames, and these represent his fiery energy. Now, this wand is projecting forward from his groin, and this is phallic, like the Ace of Wands itself, and so it shows a time of tremendous creativity, but creativity which will excite people and which will be made practical, because the wind, as you can see, these flames are being drawn this way. The wind is coming from behind and pushing him along. He carries him forward, and it's not going against him. Now, the horse itself, the horse has a lot of energy, and he is obviously not in full control of it as he rides towards his goal. There will be a lot of energy for you during this period, but perhaps there may be a tendency to rush things, and there may well be a situation where decisive action is needed. I think also there's an influence of the moon coming in here as well, which plays its part through the instincts, emotions, and nurturing. It is important that the Knight of Wands follows what feels instinctively right and something worthwhile that nurtures his inner self. Otherwise, you could get actions that are represented by well, not debauchery, but difficulties with the balance in your life. So I see this as being a period during which there will be a number of moments where there is swift, sudden, and strong action taken or needed, but you will need a virtuous goal to focus on. Now, in the third quarter, and we'll look at the difference in this type. See this horse here? Let's have a look at this one. Let's have a look at his cousin, the Knight of Discs. Well, looking at this guy, he is short of stature and is seen among the wheat on agricultural land. He looks up over the horizon at the sun coming up over the hill. Now, his horse is heavier and slower than that of the Knight of Wands, for example, isn't it? This is like a racehorse taking off with enormous amounts of speed and energy. This is a much more placid, staid, working type horse. And what's interesting is that his helmet visor is raised and settled back. Now, I'm getting a lot of Virgo around here. I'm also getting Leo as well, so they're going to be important to you, particularly Virgo. Now, why do I say Virgo? I think it's because the first two decans, you know how each sign is divided into 3 decans of 10 degrees each, 30 degrees, 12 threes are 36, making up the 360-degree circle of the zodiac? Well, the first 2 decans of Virgo are ruled by the Sun in the first decan and Venus in the second decan, and they go very well with this guy because the energy of sunlight is necessary for crops, and the additional nurturing qualities of Venus only complement him. Now here's, just to have a look at the image closer again. First of all, again, I'm drawn to this horse. This is what they call a shire horse. It's one that is not used for battle, but for practical purposes. It's solidly planted on 4 feet, which is very different to what we saw with this Knight of Wands. And again, his helmet is raised. He's not in battle like the Knight of Wands. Now, the helmet's crest here is a stag's head, and the stag's head was associated with prudence in Renaissance times. Prudence is also associated with the hermit, I think, who's ruled by Virgo, so that's why I'm getting this energy of Virgo around. And what's this he's got holding in his hand here? Well, it's not a sword or anything. It's a grain flail that they used to use in the old days, which is used to thresh wheat. And the harvest is also associated with Virgo and fertility. Yeah, very much a more different type of energy to the quarter that was preceding it. Yeah, just to think about it, I think you're going to have a very strong work ethic during this time. You will be able to keep going and going even through long odds. And it's also a very positive energy for you, because it implies that a work commitment over a longer period of time does yield visible results. And I think that this energy also implies that you are going to be very skillful at managing practical activities that are involved in your life. Now, there is also in here, I get a real fortune. I've got this card coming behind it, but this 9, which we'll get to in just a second, but he has good fortune on his side as a result of applying the qualities of this steady, patient work ethic during this thing. Success will come, and so this is a very positive energy for this time of year. I think it's important that during this time you don't over-intellectualize things, but you work with your instinct, with your gut instinct. And you may well find that you have a connection with nature during this period. I think that you will be reliable and you'll have a good work ethic, which is going to get results over the long term. And it could well be that you have a deep connection with Mother Earth itself. And then we get to the fantastic 9 of Earth, 9 of discs. And he was discs, and you see that he's showing you what a great year that this is. It starts well, it continues well, you get your act together, and it ends well. And why it ends well, we'll have a look at right now. Let's get this thing here. Well, here we go. The 9 of discs called gain. Well, in this 9 of Earth, the 3 central orbs, you see 1, 2, 3, they sort of show an upright equilateral triangle, and these sit within a hexagram of coins. A hexagram just means 6, so they're sitting within 6 coins, I suppose, and rays of light project out from the central orbs. Now, what I have here astrologically is Venus in Virgo. In fact, it's in the second decan of Virgo that are 10 to 20 degrees. Now, Venus is concerned with love and with money. As you may know, business. Love and money, these are both expressions of your values, I think, aren't they? Rightfully so. And expressions of your pleasures and tastes. And Venus is saying here that if you follow what is in your heart and what has meaning for you, your life can only gain from this. It also brings good fortune to your material affairs. Now, Venus in Virgo, well, Virgo is an earth sign associated with practical matters, discrimination, and organization. It adds the necessity to be clear in your path ahead and keep your feet on the ground in following your heart's path. Now, Venus is in its fall astrologically in Virgo, which means it should be restricted from true expression. But with this number 9 here, this number 9 has a ruling from Venus, and so there is great harmony and balance about this card. which you can kind of get just by looking at the symmetry of the painting that's involved in it. But let's have a look at some of that painting in more depth and see what's here. Well, the blue is about wisdom, the pink is about love, the green is about creativity produced and expressed throughout the card and into your life. And there are planetary discs in the hexagrams, and they also benefit from this energy. Now, the 6 outer coins, I think that actually in this deck, this is the first time that in the suit of discs, they have become coins. So you are looking more at your material outcomes here, which is again good news. Now, the top 3 coins are all masculine. Saturn, which is the highest coin, is a helmeted warrior, which is talking about doing things step by step and knowing your boundaries. Mars, which is this top left-hand coin, a male figure with a feathered cap, which is talking about gain through your energy and vitality. And Jupiter talks about gain through your openness and flexibility when opportunities come your way, and the expansion of your consciousness. Now, the bottom 3 coins are all feminine. What have we got here? We've got Mercury, which is the bottom left, which is the woman in a hat. Talks about the importance of communication to achieve what your heart desires. Venus talks about a young woman. Gain is achieved through following what has heart and meaning for you. And down the bottom here, in this lowest coin, there is a wise woman within the moon. So there is achievement through just trusting your own instincts and intuition. So all in all, what that quarter is promising is, I think, a general period of improvement in all the aspects of your life. Settlements and financial gifts, probably. There's a real sense of karmic reward here for you. Good luck, as well as good management in financial affairs and financial security after hard work and planning. Well, that's the way it is for you for this year. Well, there you go, 2021 in a snapshot. It's been great fun doing that reading for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did providing it to you. Now, I look forward to seeing you in the monthly readings, okay? But until then, just remember one thing always, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, it's bye for now.